Now it's recording. All right, so we're going to work through some of these together. This will be, of course, on the help I was absent, I need the notes videos. This would count as part of a notes video. All right, so if this was an equation, what would be my first step? What would I do, Mason?
Wall of equality.
Wall of equality, always. What's going to be my next step? Carter?
You have to do whatever it's called.
Stairs.
Distributive property?
That thing.
Yep. So I have 28 is greater than or equal to 24x minus 44. Right. And now I have what would still be a two-stepper. So what's going to be my first step of this two-stepper? Britton?
You have to. I don't know if it's right, but you have to divide.
Not yet. I'm not going to divide quite yet. Jake?
Add 44 on both sides.
I'm going to add 44 to both sides. I'm going to get 72 is greater than or equal to 24x. Britton, what am I going to do now?
You're going to divide.
Now I'm going to divide by 24. So I'm going to end up with 3 is greater than or equal to x. And then I want you guys to put your pencils down and look, listen, learn for a second. Okay, I'm trying to make this so that it's not all, there we go, there's no glare. Okay, so the easiest way to graph these is if the variable is on the left side. So we're going to transform this into x is less than or equal to 3. It's the exact same inequality, right? If you look here, this point is going towards my x, so I keep the point going towards my x. And now I have the variable on the left side, so when I plot the point, my arrow that I fill in will be going in the same direction as this point. So I need somebody to tell me, am I going to have a closed or an open circle? Sophia? I'm going to have a closed circle at 3. And then x is less than or equal to 3. So which direction are all the values that are less than or equal? Mason?
To the left.
To the left. So I'm going to make an obnoxiously big arrow. So everybody knows that's my arrow. And do you see how that is going in the same direction that this point is? Right? So that's my reason behind rearranging this. These mean the exact same thing. This is just easier to graph. Okay, yes?
Why'd you flip it?
So this says 3 is greater than or equal to x. This still says 3 is greater than or equal to x. I just rearranged it so that my variable's on the left. So they mean the exact same thing, but I just switched spots so I could graph it. Right? This says x is less than or equal to 3. This says x is less than or equal to 3. You'll get used to it. We'll do it. Almost every one of these requires us to do that. Okay. All right. Question 2. I've got a fraction. How do we clear fractions? Jake? I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So this side gets multiplied by 3. X gets multiplied by 3. 8 gets multiplied by 3. So what I'm left with is 3x plus 24 is less than x. Notice that the x on this side is just a plain old x because that was in my numerator, so that's what's left over. I'm going to draw my wall of equality. Yep, sure is. So what am I going to do now? Mason?
You're gonna subtract, or no, you're gonna divide the.
I'm not going to do any dividing quite yet. That'll be my last step. So I have to move all of my x's to this side. So how am I going to move these 3 x's?
You're gonna subtract.
Yep, subtract 3x. So now I have 24 is less than negative 2x. Right, because that 1x that was hiding there, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Mason, what am I going to do now?
You're gonna divide the -2.
Divide by -2, divide by -2. What do I have to do when I divide by a negative?
You have to flip the.
Allie, is that what you're going to say? Flip the sign. So I've got -12 is greater than x. But you guys know how I feel about this. So what I'm going to do here, Jake, is I'm going to rearrange it so it says x is less than -12. It means the exact same thing. I just put it in an easier way so I can actually graph it. Open or close circle at -12? Carter?
Open.
Open. It's right here because these are going by 4s. And is my arrow going to go to the left or to the right? To the left, right? These are all of the values that are less than -12. Also, my inequality sign is pointing to the left, so that helps me to know. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. What's going to be my first step? I've got a fraction here, so what do I have to do to get rid of that? Yeah. This side gets multiplied by 5, and this side gets multiplied by 5. So what I'm left with is 10 is less than or equal to 3x plus 43. Notice that the 3x plus 43 did not change. The only thing that changed there is now I no longer have this denominator 5. Draw my wall of equality. Max, what do I need to do now?
Subtract 43.
Excellent. Subtract 43 from both sides. Allie, what will I do now?
Divide by 3.
Do I need to change my symbol?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Uh,
Did I divide by a negative?
no.
No. So that was a tricky one. That is the one that gets everybody all the time. Is because you think, oh, well, there's a negative. I should divide by, or I should change the sign.
Negative makes it positive, right?
Well, this is still going to be a negative number, so I don't have to change the symbol.
Like I said, it's positive. Right?
This is going to be -11, less than or equal to x.
Okay. Okay. So that's the answer.
Yep. But you know I'm going to rearrange it so it says x
I
is,
can't tell which way your arrow is going.
because of the glare.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can fix that.
Kind of brightness
Well,
But we
or
also
raise
get
it
it
and-
so the video can see it.
yeah. Is that a little better?
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
It is better.
I still can't see it.
How about that?
Now I see it.
I know, it's
There.
that better? Okay.
Perfect.
And then as you can see, I rewrote it as x is greater than or equal to -11. So, Avery, open or close point at -11.
Can I?
Closed.
I didn't hear you. Did you say closed?
She said
No, she said close.
She said
Closed. It's closed. Closed is the correct answer because it can equal -11, and then it's everything greater than or equal to that number.
How do you know if it's open or closed?
Because of the sign, like if it's greater than or equal to.
If there's
it's
a line
closed
under it, it's
circle.
closed.
If it's
Right.
Greater than or less
What do you
than,
mean
it's
a
open.
line?
So look up at the screen, Britton. Do you see how this is greater than or equal to?
Yeah.
That's the little line that Carter's talking about.
But the last one was
But if it's like, the last
So-
one was open because it didn't have a line under it.
Yeah, this one did not have a line. It's just less than, so it had to be open. What it's telling us is that your answer can't be 12 here, but your answer could be -11 here to make it
So
true.
if there's a what is it called? What's the
Greater than or equal to?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a line under it, it's closed.
Correct.
And if there's no line, it's open.
Correct. Okay, let's do one more together. Number 4. I'm going to draw my wall of equality. Blake, what's going to be my first step? Yep. I've got to do this distributive property, right? Yeah. So I'm going to get 30x plus 54 is greater than 21x. Britton, what's up?
Well, I'm gonna.
Okay. I can't have all of my x's. I need to make sure all my x's get to one side. So I'm going to have to subtract this 30x, even though it's going to give me a negative value. That's my only option. So now I have 54 is greater than negative 9x.
Why do you put the 30 there if you know you're gonna cross it out?
It's just for me to see my process. Organize, like, oh, how did I get to this? Oh, I subtracted 30 here and I subtracted 30 here. Then I'm going to divide by negative 9. Do I need to flip my sign?
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah.
do. So I'm going to get negative 6 is less than x. But you all know I'm going to rewrite that as x is greater than negative 6. Just greater than. So is it going to be open or closed, Britton?
I mean the arrows. Greater than and less than.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it greater than and equal to?
This is just greater than because there's no line underneath it. So am I going to fill in at negative 6?
No.
Correct. And then I'm going to go to the right because these are all the values.
Wait, where is the 6?
So these are going by 2s, so negative 2, negative 4, negative 6. You guys ready to try a couple on your own?
No.
No? You want to keep working together?
Yeah.
Okay, let's work on 5 and 6. Let's work on 5 and 6 and then we'll move on.
We're working on 7 and 8.
I mean, we could do both of them if you really wanted to. We could do all of these.
7 and
Let's
8
just do 5.
like
Let's just do 5.
7 and 8 look really long, and it has a
It's good practice for you.
7 and 8 hurt my brain.
We don't.
Okay, well, you can practice on your own or you can just attempt and then we'll still go over all of them. All right, so for number 5, I drew my wall of equality. I need to get all of my variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract the 7x. And now I'm going to have 8x plus 35 is greater than or equal to negative 21. Now I have a two-stepper. Sophia? Yep. 8x is greater than or equal to negative 56.
Don't you have to cross out that 35?
I sure do.
Then divide by 8.
Yep. So I have 8x is greater than or equal to negative 56. Divide by 8. X is greater than or equal to negative 7. Can someone tell me why I did not flip my sign? Why, Mason?
Because you weren't dividing by a negative.
Correct.
You were just dividing.
Exactly. So if you look up here, Britton, do you see how this 56 is negative?
Yeah.
But the 8 is not. So I would only flip my sign if I divided by a negative 8, but I didn't. So even though there's negative in the problem, I don't have to flip my sign. So I'm going to...
If there is no negative, you have to flip it.
No, not quite. We'll talk. You and I can work on it more later. So x is great. I don't even have to rearrange this. The x is already on the left, which is nice. So I'm going to fill in my point, draw my arrows. X is greater than or equal to -7. All right, number 6. I have a fraction here, so I'm going to multiply everything times 2. So I'm going to get 2x plus 10 is less than x. I sure do. Subtract 2x from both sides. And remember there's that secret 1 there, so 1 minus 2 gives me -x. 10 is less than -x.
That's a lot.
Can't have a -x, so what's the trick to make our variable positive? Does anybody know the trick?
You do it.
You do.
You do the thing.
You do the thing.
The thing.
The thing that is divide by -1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you were thinking about. So I have -10. I do have to flip my sign. It's less than x. Good job, Carter.
You didn't
I'm
flip
so
the
proud
sign.
of myself.
I didn't. I said it and I didn't flip it.
Carter's so good.
Ugh.
I'm big brain.
Okay, so you guys know I'm going to rewrite this as x is less than -10. Because it makes my heart happy. So then I'm going to leave an open circle at -10. And I'm going to shade in all the values to the left. Okay, so you guys are going to try 7 and 8 by yourselves.
No way.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, end of the video, trying 7 and 8 by yourselves.